today is we're combining choreography, technique, and also the work that's been written for this segment. And we're going to be looking at step size as it relates to choreography, as well as orientation of the body, and also the checkpoints that is going on within the flag work. As you can see, you will see that there are multiple times when their orientation changes, their step size is going to change, as well as coming in and out of the ground, as well as spinning in the multiple planes around their body. It's a 10-count phrase. We're working on the and count and also building through the halfway point, which here the best place to stop is count 4 because there's a placement of equipment and body that they need to kind of clarify first. So you'll see that they're doing 4 counts at a time, stopping on that count and then moving through the next few counts at a time, making sure they know all their and counts and all their positionings of the body. See, so you can see the orientation of the body changes as well as their flag relates to the body, keeping everything in a line, as well as their shoulders moving in the form. So they're looking at multiple skills at the same time and then doing them in tandem with the body and equipment work together and form. You see step size, you see the change of the orientation moving from around the form going forward to around the form going backward, and then also the plane of work around the body with the flag stopping parallel to their body on count 4 of the 10-count phrase.
It looks like you guys are taking that step here on 4, and you guys are taking that step like mostly everyone around here. Stepping here on 4 to be here on 5.
And then are you going to step 6?
Hey Jeff, Dan Bob.
This time let's go to 10. Let's go to 10 this time. Here we go. And a 5. And all the way to 10, please. And 5. 6 and 5, 6, ready, go. Left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So once they clarified count 4, they moved from count 5 to count 10. 5 is also an important count because the flag has to go on the flat plane, which helps clarify 6 through 10. So those intermediate points are imperative to make sure that their clarification all the way through the phrase is clear. That's why we really take a lot of time breaking down each count, each half count, as it relates to form, body, and equipment.
Guys, you have to make sure count 4 is straight up and down, and 5 you're pushing flat. Here we go.
The other thing that we feel is pretty important is that we also work through the phrase. So what Ronnie is doing is beginning with the first phrase and then bridging it into the middle of the second phrase. So they're doing 10 and 5. You will also see that they have the way in which if they have to recover, they're doing it within the context of the phrase. This is so difficult because the interval responsibilities in the form is 4 steps apart. The flagpole is 6.5 foot long, and they're moving and spinning and changing orientation at the same time. So they have to know exactly where the orientation of the pole is in relationship to the person in front of them or behind them, which causes them to break it down in 4 counts, which you see in the second arc. The inner arc, there's much more use of restricted space than the outside arc. So it kind of makes that a little bit more, there's much more of a risk that there could be an error and then no recovery time. So that's why we're making sure that all these counts and body facings are very much cleared up from a performance standpoint.
And then bring in 10 to the person next to you.
We have 2 flag techs that are on the field giving information, and then you can see the marching tech as well in the middle of the form, mostly at the focal point of the arc, so that he's able to check sets and pathways and step size. Since the choreography is not an even step size due to the leap or the jump or the tour that they're doing, tour is just a jump that changes orientation, the marching tech is also making sure that those spaces are being covered evenly in those 10 counts.
5, 6, 7, 8, down, up.
That's it.
But to the person right in front of you, honey.
Right in front. Right in front of you.
Yeah. Let's try it one more time.
So in other words, your flag is going to go around the arc when you're on 10. So you're going to go 9, 10 around the arc.
Here we go. Let's try it one more time, please. And 5, 6, 5.
The other guys that are not being worked on right now are using the time to do individual things. We just added probably 40 seconds worth of show at the end of the program, and the people that are waiting to be added into the arc are working on different aspects of that they just learned this morning and last evening. One of the most important things to make sure the students understand is using their time wisely and being able to be self-motivated enough that they are going to continue to work on things that they need to individually work on, which will make the whole program better. We're very fortunate that most of the time, I would say 95% of the gentlemen that march in the Corps have that inner drive. And really, when it's a younger student or a student without a lot of experience, you just have to continue reminding them and being able to set higher expectations, meaning they may have to spend extra time during their lunch or their dinner or in the morning before we start to make sure that they're all up to the same level. So it's kind of like something that we try to foster, and the leaders in the drum corps, the guard sergeant or the drum majors or the drum sergeant or horn sergeant, make sure that if we are deficient in some way, there are ways in which we can develop that.
In your direction,
They also have a buddy. When they first come in pre-tour, they're assigned to someone in their section or in their group that an older or a more experienced member can help a younger member, or someone that's been in the Corps a year but having a little more difficult time grasping the information, because all the students don't learn at the same rate, so we may have to give them a little bit more time to develop some of the skills that they need to. The winter camps are no way an indication of what's going to happen in the summer. There's no magic dust that you sprinkle on them that by August 9th, whenever the championship is, that they're all going to be proficient. It's something that they have to perform as a group and then also individually to be able to make sure their skills are up to the level of performance qualities that's going to be needed to make the whole successful. A lot of people ask throughout the summer how we get them to develop their attention span. You'll see that when the staff are giving them directions, education is a two-way street. They need to respond back. How far are we going? Where are we stopping? And then they'll respond. We'll also make sure that we're stopping and starting in different places just to keep their mind engaged in the rehearsal.
Start at 8, please. Starting at 8 and 5.
Especially because sometimes, like today, we're rehearsing 3 blocks of time, which is a 12-hour day. Their attention span needs to be sharp, on task, and also making it better so that as we progress through the day, the 3.5 hours in each block is pretty much on target all the way through. So you can see that they're here, again, adding parts of the group together, and then also starting and stopping mid-phrase. You can see he's going to be doing it 4 counts, and notice he's taking half of the line. I think he has 7 people there, making all minor adjustments as it occurs. Solomon, you can see the 5th gentleman from the right has an orientation problem with his hips that the staff person is making a correction. Chad, on the other hand, is making them realize what negative space they have to work with as they're moving between Noah and Ralph, which is the 2nd and 3rd flag from the top. Since the space here in this form is so restrictive, you can see that Ronnie is taking like 3 guys at a time, adding the 4th guy, adding the 5th guy, adding the 6th guy, because the problem is that the flag has to move behind the person to their right in the arc. So all of those things have to be very, very, very precise in order for the success of the phrase to happen. So being able to break it down and letting them be able to see exactly what they need to do as far as orientation and as well as what their flag is doing is paramount in order to make that clear. And you can see that he's actually building in people here and there throughout the side. Chad on the other side was doing the same thing about 3 minutes ago, and so if we took half on that side, half on this side, when we put the parts together, it's going to be much more uniform. We're getting to the point now that all of their equipment work is really trying to make a mark in their muscle memory in order to maintain the same quality all the way through. Muscle memory is what part of the body is engaged in order for that manipulation of the equipment or body to take place. Like, for example, in a flag toss, what does it feel like for the left hand to go straight down as the right hand is engaging in the lifting part of the toss? And what they have to do is they have to feel what's right. It's 99% just like a musician. They have to feel what the embouchure is supposed to be in order to attack the note. Well, here they have to know what the muscle memory is in order to initiate the work. So that muscle memory is something that is kind of put back in their mindset so that whenever they complete that task, they should know what it already feels like. A lot of times now at the point we are, they know that when the energy is too much, they can go, oh, I did it wrong when I initiated, and they can fix it the next time. Or if they didn't give enough, then they also know that they can tell whether they're either too far or not enough or high or low, that they need more energy. So it's just trying to get all of those energies kind of stored up so that whenever they need to engage into a particular skill, they know the amount of effort that it takes to complete that successfully.
How does that feel for you guys?
It should feel a little better, I would imagine.
So the thing is also, should everyone essentially go to the back of the person? Because even if they're on this part of the
You know what? You're not going to, because Adam's, it all depends with orientation. Like, Adam's got to go in front, or Adam's going to be like this. You know what I mean? I think we're just going to have to individualize and look at it. You looking at Pepe now? Come back!
Pepe, can you add in with us, please?
because every person is going to be the outside of a like a part of a circle, like facing the furthest out. So I thought everyone should go to like, whether.
But the flag work starts. They start to go this way. You know what I mean? It goes like this, and then comes back. One thing really important, you can see that the camaraderie of the staff and them being able to share information and give thought and be able to look to see what's more comfortable as well as what looks cleaner. You know, Jeff, Ronnie, and I, all three went together and made the decision, even with one of the members, to make sure that it was much more, I don't want to say convenient, but much more fluid, much more flowing, whatever made sense. And because of the orientation change, any way in which we can make the clarity come through by giving and taking and making things cooperative between the staff and the students is really important.
And 5, 6, and 5, 6, ready, go, and down, up 2, and 3, grab 4.
Clarity is paramount, especially this time of the year, without really changing the integrity of the work, but we may be addressing some arm gesturing that may not be needed, or make some clarification with the shoulders or the hips that will make that a much clearer moment.
5, 6, 7, 8.
The tempo here is well over 200, so you want to make sure that you're also doing it at a modest tempo in order for them to really engage themselves into what they're doing.
We're going to take this down just a little bit in tempo.
If you do it slow first, that helps you to really emphasize and focus in on all the individual things. Then they'll move it back up to the tempo that the drum corps is performing it at, which is at 200 beats a minute.
Okay, now that you have your orientation, about you, let's take it back and do that again. We're going to take it up to tempo. 10 counts. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, reset. We're going to do 2 10s. So you're going to go 10 this way, and then we're going to direction change, come back. So it's lock 9, 10, right? Lock on 10. Don't be slow, and the direction change, 9 lock 10, and stopping off on 1 in the new 10. 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's sometimes moments in the show where they happen to be moving very large distances in a short amount of time, and what we're trying to do is to make things a little more comfortable so that especially the sabers at the end of the opener are able to actually think about their prep before they throw their 6, which is a pretty exposed event at the end of the opener. The checkpoints have to be precise. The flags move up on the 45. They move through the 45 counts, from the 45 below the body to the 45 above the body, behind the body, and then to the flat position as the saber passes right through. We also had to detail about what part of their body is in their set. And the thing is, this is a section where we've kind of massaged the whole year. And this is the final massage that we're going to do so that going into DCI week, they have a really good plan of what their very ending 4/8s in the opener are. And again, multiple amounts of information are given from all three techs. We all also talked about this prior to coming out the rehearsal, how we were going to run it, how we were going to clean it, how we were going to change the drill so that it looked less frenzied, how we were going to make minute changes in the equipment work so the pass-throughs worked clearly, what foot they're going to step off and on so that the center of their bodies could land on their dot instead of a right or left foot. Because if you watch at the end when they actually step out with their feet, it could change the clarity of the form from up top or from the field level. Since we spend a lot of time talking about centering of the body in movement class and when we're spinning in a block, it's just an active reinforcement of their centering of their body here. So that's why we adjusted some of these sets so that their center of their body is a little bit more logical to use other than a right or a left foot placement.
Sabres, the hilt is down on 9 and 11. 7 and 9, sorry, 7, 9, 10 is over.
Some of their basic skills that we learned in the block back in the technical track of the DVD come through here because the Sabres actually have to know where the spin spot is. They have to know how the hilt is actually manipulating the saber through time and space, and then also the flag as it relates to the shoulder hip angles that they do in their cone exercise. All of these things transfer into what's being presented here in the ending moments of the opener and beginning of the second production.
You're supposed to be all the way around your body like that?
The fluidity of the work and the fluidity of their body is much more lyrical than you probably will recall from the end of the opener. Where here they're a little more light and a little more lyrical, since that does begin the second production, which is more of the ballad or melodic section of the show.
Now, second and third line, are you guys having any trouble making this set at all? No. It's only front line. Only so front line, yes? 12 down, 12 and 1. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12.
You know what? It doesn't matter what's good for you, it's what's for everybody. All right? And we'll figure it out. Just make sure you know that. It's about getting this perfected all the way. And everything that we've done today has done that. This is not going to be an exception. So if we have to work it or change it or fix the checkpoint, we'll do that.
Here's a really important aspect to really think about when you're designing and you're planning these events, is that you've got to make sure that it is something that is going to affect the majority of the performers. Like here, there may be one or two that may not work as clear or as fluid or as precise for them, that they may have to work a little harder or change their path a little bit. But the majority of the color guard here, out of the 38 people that are on the field, this is a much needed change in order to make this look much more calm but proficient in their performance qualities.
So you keep the flow. That's it. Just walk through it.
Sabres, watch Sean Sanchez here for a second.
We're going to make a change, Sabres, so watch here.
Yeah, don't ask a million questions about it. Here it goes. He's at 6. Comes down 7, up 8, 9, 10. He steps right through that. He goes in a releve, makes a height change. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. You'll probably lean back into that 1 there.
Watch here.
One more time, Sabres. Watch.
You can also see that there are layered moments where the level of the flag is in relationship to the saber, so that you see certain parts of the equipment up at the air, that it's not all on the same plane, which makes a texture occur. And I know we'll be talking about texture when we talk about the design of the show. So here you'll see that the levels of the equipment is going to make a texture change, as well as you can see their body levels are going to make that texture change as well. So all these things are all encompassing in what we're doing in this whole sequence in this particular segment.
Forward, now to your saber though.
Reset.
Here we go. 5, 9, 6, 9, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop, 7, 12, and 1.
Yay! Let's take it from
where we started, we got to go to ensemble. Take it all the way from where we went, all the way through here and stop. This is the culmination activity of everything that you've seen today. We've actually made quite a few changes at the end of the opener as far as detailing and enhancing, making the clarity at 100% right now. Now, is the performance 100%? Not quite, but it's much closer that we're going into the last 2 weeks of tour. So what we're doing is we're going to run the final segment with the rifles, or with the sabers and the flags, and you're going to see exactly all the changes that we made from a form, equipment standpoint. Pass through in context that we worked on just a few minutes ago. And you can see, I guess my goal is that they didn't look frenzied at the end, because exactly what happened was they were changing directions, probably like every 4 counts, and now it's a little more fluid that they're moving 8 counts at a time before they're actually changing direction. So the goal has been achieved from the standpoint of what we want them to do. Over the last 2 weeks, we will still continue to refine and detail to 150%. I think you'll see that some of those, again, basic skills that we did in our technique track are presented here. The form responsibility, the choreography, as well as the dimensionality of the equipment work, all comes into play here. We're going to run the same segment one more time. You also see that the last-minute instructions are being given by the instructors. After they ran it through the first segment, still some individual things that need to be corrected are also being given to the performers at this time.
Here we go. Set. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Push 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 6, 7, low. 1, and 4, 5, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, to 5, 6, 7, 5. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 2, that's out. 1,
Yeah, much
3,
cleaner,
5.
much better performed, and again, you'll be seeing segments like this all through the next couple weeks of just making every moment count from a performance standpoint, and any little tweaks that we can do to make that happen. Yeah, you guys need to grab all your equipment and head to the stadium. Because at 3 o'clock, if we get the storm, we're doing a run through first. Okay? And now you can hear the thunder and stuff coming in that way now, so that's why you need to be there. All right? Segment that you're going to be viewing at this point is the shout section to the end in the third movement. Rifles and flags, very strongly integrated, detailing the body and equipment as well as the space around the body. You can see that they're also compensating for the wind. It's a very winding mid-morning here. Some of them were successful and some of them weren't. But again, it's another isolated moment where they are really detailing the way they travel, the space, the dimensionality around the body, as well as the integration between the flags and the rifles. We're going to reset and try that again. We are going to go chart by chart just because this is a very integrated moment and we're still having some individual breakdowns here. So we're going to take one chart at a time. Let's do 7 counts.
7 again.
Fine-tune the drill. We're not going to rewrite it. Fine-tune the drill. You be the solvers and make it work. 7 counts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Very strong isolation. You can see that the level changes from the flags to the rifles so that they are incorporated from a level texture standpoint, and then also the travel in which the space is happening. They all have mid-sets through the phrase, so that is something that's very important to be maintained as well. 2 sevens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 5, 6, 7.
You can also see that as it feeds out, spacing and alignment and level changes from the flags to the rifles are very, very important.
Here we go. 3 7. Set.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
Better. I'm here. 1 set.
5 foot 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 10. 2 back, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, now rifles, you need to be on your dot here. If you're 4 steps off, there's a dot there, right? Real quick.
Basically.
Rifles, stand with your feet together, face the way you're moving.
Tommy, where's your hole?
So you guys are all 2, right? Okay, put your feet together and face down the line in the file. Face that real quick. Now, I may adjust you a little bit. Zach, can you move back a little towards Peter? Okay, now look where you are. This portion has to be a little clearer because the last moment I want Tommy to fit in the set. So the rifle's here. Make sure you come to here this time. Make that little adjustment. Let's go back 8 counts. Everyone back, 1 set.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, what we're doing is trying to continue to make sure that the soloist comes in without any kind of isolated entrance. So that's why we're trying to maximize the spacing with the rifles here as a detailing standpoint.
Rifles, can I tell you what really looks sloppy right here? Come like this, right? And then you come back up and over. Make sure that it moves as a flat piece of wood instead of like this. You understand? So you need to isolate all of that and check the bolt as you're going over. All right? And also, you need to like line it up. You need to line it up so that you guys see it all go over together. You gotta match. Try it again. Reset.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You can see the isolation of the body, the rhythmic responsibilities underneath the body, also very important. Gentlemen, that's better.
Reset, 8 counts. Guys, remember, this left side of your body, bringing it up and over to the right side, has to be flat. And you have a great opportunity because all you're doing is looking down the file. So if you're here and you're doing this, that really looks ugly because you take the line out. All the rifles should connect. Okay, even though there's negative space in between, they should connect. Okay, hook on like a train. Pull up and then over. Let's do 3 sevens and 1 8. Let's bridge all that together.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5.
Strong technique in their feet, actually, much stronger than we saw in the last segment. Isolating, working where we're at, makes a lot more sense as far as the spacing qualities and also the energy in the body.
Well, no,
Reset, same thing. Same thing, 3 sevens and an 8.
We're actually stopping quite a bit and really detailing their feet, their drill, their body, their equipment, and also their performance qualities. How to blend, which you'll see from the technique track, all taken into application in the performance here.
Here we go, same thing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 6, 7, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Better. Okay, from here, let me see the next 8. Do not toss. Next 8 rifles, do not toss from here.
Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1,
Angle 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What did I just say?
Don't toss.
Thank you. Follow directions. Hey, look. When you guys go to count 5, go there right now. Go there. Now look. This starts your prep. And I'm looking at Adam Dalton going like this. Okay? Remember what I told you, and I know you don't think it's very significant, but it is. When you alter this and you line that up, right? And then you got to align all this up,
it's going to establish where you're going to hit 5, and it's going to establish your prep. You've got to make sure when you come to 5, everybody's in line here. There's a checkpoint for you that you need to blend. There's a count where you're going, boom, 5, everybody's got to be there. Where do you go on 6? Where's your body on 6?
To the end zone still.
To the end zone. So now you've got another place where you can line it up. So you've got 2 counts before you throw your gun that you need to be in the right place at the right time. You've got to lock this in as a rifle line, you've got to lock this in as a rifle line, and that in as a rifle line. Reset, 8 counts. That's why the 6 doesn't get out together. Here we go, 8 counts.
5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Check it out. Okay, try it again. 8 more. Go back 8.
Go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
Angle. Hook. Check it out. Look at your drill right now, front to backs.
Don't slow your feet down coming into this.
Yep. If you slow your feet down, you're not going to get the timing in your hands either. Go back 2 8s, everybody. 2 8s. If you have the opportunity to perform tonight, it would be really nice if this 6 is like fabulous. I would think that we could get 18 guns and throw a 6 well together. I hope. 2 8s. Do not throw your gun.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good time.
Check your set. Okay, let's do all the 7s up to the 2 8s and do not toss. We've seen a lot of opportunity in the last couple minutes of really breaking it down and looking at isolated things that could really help them achieve their performance qualities at the end of the third tune. Hear them counting? Something else that we've talked about in the other tracks.
That's a lot better down here, guns. That's a lot better.
Yeah, you know what? You see how the parts, if the parts are right, the hole's going to be right? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
If all your isolated moments are right, the whole overall thing's going to like fall into place. Do it again, reset. All the 7s, 2 8s, and stop at the dip. When they march, their timing in their feet is paramount to making sure their equipment is right. Their facings is the second thing that's very much important, as well as also just getting that muscle memory in their body so that it just becomes like riding a bike. It's very automatic.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it.
I need to see one other thing. Go back 8 counts. Go back 8. Sorry, go back 8. From here, I want to see 4 counts and stop. Everyone, 4 and stop.
5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
Where's your gun right now? Should be straight up and down, I believe. And you should be stepping off on what foot? Your what foot should be forward. Left foot. Here's the other thing. If your gun is like this, are you going to get to 5 on time?
No.
If your gun is like this, are you going to get to 5 on the right count?
No.
I doubt it, because you know what? You're going to take the visual away from over there. The idea is to see 18 guns going from here to there together. And if your gun's like this, I'm going to see this. Okay? And your arm's going to be dragged away. So it's got to be right two-dimensional right there into that. This count 4 is not good. Got it? Okay, go back 4 counts.
5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop. Rifles, where's your body right now?
On.
Here's the other part. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and a lot of you are here. Okay? Mostly in the middle. Both of you. You got to pull your body over here on 4. So the gun has got to be here, and all of you are like this. Most of you are like this. All right? So let's go back and do that 4 counts. Go back 4.
5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, up, 2, 3, 4.
Now, where's 5? Okay, there's another important count. You see if the guns are all flat, they're all going to make a line and connect there? You, 9 of you or 8 of you? Where's 6? Hello? Here's 6. Let's put
start with 2 hands on 8. So it's 6, 7, 8. Got it? Yeah. 2 hands are on 8. Go back and do 8 counts. You gotta detail. You gotta think about it. Here we go. Counts. How are we doing, Flags?
5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
Better. Make sure your tip is up in the back. Where are you looking at to make sure your tip is flat?
Bolt.
The bolt! So if your bolt is behind you, you've got a problem. Where the end of your bolt should be in the front part of your shoulder. And it's got to be straight. Okay, from the shout all the way to the end.
That's the end. We're tossing.
We're tossing, we're going to the end. Here we go.
I think you can see that all these isolated moments, building the parts of the whole, is really going to make the impact at the end much stronger, much more confident, much more refined. All those angles, as well as connecting the rifles with the form, very important. Again, this will help make sure the maximum clarity will happen all the way to the end of the production.
Reset.
They
Same
said take
thing.
out 5, just wasn't there that time. The 7 and 5. And,
Here we go. To the end. Hey, boys. You guys feel the wind every once in a while? Yeah. So what are you supposed to do? Yeah, especially now. It's pretty direct. The wind's coming from behind you. Pull back, calm down, deep breath, release. You inhale on the prep, you release your breath on the release, right? Squeeze out and control your energy all the way to the end.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3. Out. Reset. One more time. Rifles. How many felt that was a better run? Yeah, it was way better. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1.
Control, relax. Out. All right, pull it in. Hey, listen. Seriously. Was all that better?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? All we did was detail it. All right? And all we did was try to get it more in your muscle memory. Okay? It is 1:45 to 2. You need to be back here at 2:45 to 3. Make sure all the equipment stays underneath there in case of rain. All right? If it rains,